I'm really excited to lead off our webcast series with Healthy Home Technologies. You know, with all the home technologies from HVAC to smart home, the Tech Home Builder covers, it just so happens that Healthy Home is our first webcast. And it's fitting, isn't it? Because you and your family's health, that's the first thing. Isn't that the most important thing in the world? And that means good ventilation and air quality and a host of other features, which really may be underserved in the market today. Now, with the homes being built tighter and air sealed, it's even more vital to ventilate a home properly, so stale, unhealthy air can be vented outside and fresh air brought in and conditioned efficiently. Healthy Home can go way beyond that, to some solutions you may not expect. I'd like to thank again our webcast sponsor, Enovex, and introduce John Altier. John is the residential sales manager for Enovex and has been with the company for 13 years. He received his CSIA chimney sweep certification in 2001 and frequently gives training seminars on the subject of venting and mechanical draft. He's going to show us Enovex's automated chimney vent system. John?
Thanks, Steve. Many of you may be familiar with the name Exhausto, but might not be as familiar with the name Enovex. We are a manufacturer of mechanical ventilation equipment such as fans, dampers, and controls. Founded in 1991, we changed our name in 2010 to better reflect our entire product offering. Enovex Residential focuses on providing venting solutions for gas and wood-burning fireplaces, along with stoves, water heaters, and furnaces for single-family households, multifamily structures, resorts, restaurants, and other unique project undertakings. We also have commercial and kitchen departments. Our premier product is the IntelliDraft system because it is the most energy-efficient solution we offer for venting fireplaces. It includes a chimney fan, a mechanical damper, and a draft and pressure controls. Though the IntelliDraft is for gas fireplaces, we do have similar options for wood-burning fireplaces as well. The Enovex IntelliDraft system is the only modulating venting system of its kind available for gas fireplaces. It controls the speed of the chimney fan and incorporates an automated damper. The sensor will tell the fan to speed up or slow down according to the changes in conditions, such as wind or negative room pressure. This easily installed system quietly maintains a proper draft, protecting the home from dangerous chimney downdraft and fireplace spillage, while also promoting energy savings. If interested in our chimney fans and systems, we suggest you go online to our website, www.chimneyfans.com, and use our fan selector. Interesting thing about this fan selector program is that it not only helps you to select the size of the chimney fan to use with your fireplace, but also the size or the diameter of the chimney itself. So what makes the Enovex fan system a cut above other solutions? Well, it is perfect for creative fireplace designs and unique venting layouts, including sidewall venting that would otherwise be difficult or impossible to install. Your customer can keep the design or the look of their current fireplace, and you don't have to settle for a fireplace insert or convert to gas. It's easier than tile breaking if retrofitting, and there is no major reconstruction necessary. It makes for a greener home because of the energy conservation, and finally, it's a solution that allows a customer to use their otherwise dangerous or inoperable fireplace, and it's guaranteed to work.
Thank you, John. It sounds like a very safe and healthy system for a healthy home. We appreciate it. Now, just an overview of the healthy home market. 60 million sufferers in the United States of allergies and asthma. That's about 1 in 5 people, and it seems to be growing. Homeowners are spending roughly 90% of their time indoors, and according to the EPA, the average home is has 5 times more polluted air than the outside. and as much as 100 times in some instances more polluted than outside air. Our own AE Analytics Energy Advantage study that we conducted earlier this year asked builders some energy efficiency and healthy home topics, and our builder respondents predict that their homes with automated ventilation will grow from 40% in 2014 to 54% in 2016. And 80% expect to install automated ventilation in at least one of their homes in 2016. And this number seems a little low to me. I can't imagine by 2016 that only 80% of home builders will have installed at least one automated venting system. It seems like that number should even be higher. And to me, that speaks for a huge market opportunity for builders who want to differentiate themselves with healthy home technologies. All right, here's our dirty dozen of indoor air pollutants, and as you see, the young man on the right is using the old technology. We prefer to use some new technology for healthy homes. And I'm not going to go through each one here, but be very wary of stoves. Certainly, with you need kitchen fans and heaters, and carpets, of course, can hold all kinds of nasty things, especially if they've been around for years. Standards and certifications, very, very quickly, and I'm going to run through these slides quickly so we can get to our panelists. So forgive us for not covering everything in depth, but it would take probably a couple of hours. ASHRAE, the 62.2 standard, much debated, and some feel that the latest changes in it require perhaps too much ventilation. And that may be something for our discussion later. You can earn ventilation and healthy home points in LEED, at least 1 point there, NAHB's National Green Building Standard Program. The Passive House is very big on using balanced ventilation systems like ERVs and HRVs, energy recovery and heat recovery ventilators. The Living Building Challenge of the DOE and the EPA's Indoor Air Plus, which requires Energy Star certification. So you'll already get a fairly efficient home and then a healthy home on top of it. The American Lung Association ran a health house program in certified builders several years ago. However, now it's only available in the upper Midwest. And a new kid on the block, Delos, is doing a well building standard, and have some celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio and Deepak Chopra on their advisory board. So watch for them. I'm going to go through these very quickly, and our panelists are going to talk much more about HRVs and ERVs. But as we said, heat recovery ventilators and energy recovery ventilators recover either heat, and the ERVs can recover heat and moisture from one airstream to another, making it very efficient exchange of air in the home, and they're really best for very tightly built green homes. The cons for this are the high costs of these systems, and they discourage many builders. And in milder climates, it can be tough to justify the cost. However, in colder climates, they can be moderately cost effective. The unit on the right is from Carrier, and that only has 2 of the intakes and air outtakes. And that can fit on an existing HVAC or system or ductwork. Another solution, if you don't want the heat or air or moisture exchanger, is to use a balanced system without that, and those are available as well. Supply Fans, a company called, a builder called Pepper Viner in Tucson, Arizona, is sealing their attics on the underside of the roofs with spray foam. There's no ventilation in the attic. It's a conditioned space for the ductwork, so everything runs more efficiently. But they felt with their very dry and hot climate that ERVs and HRVs didn't quite suit their needs. They didn't want heat exchange or a moisture exchange there. So they opted for a supply fan. And some of these can be also paired with exhaust fans like bath fans. And there's some debate here too as well. Now, exhaust fans like bath fans can be used and can be put on timers to circulate air, but the question is, can they circulate and exhaust enough air to produce effective ventilation, and that's really dependent on the floor plan, where the fan is located, how much air it can draw into it, how large the house is. There have been a study done that said small houses with open floor plans can benefit from this. And, they do work, too, to help create an airstream, say, in a hot summer day as well, and help, suck some heat up into the upper floors if that's where it is. And you can also get exhaust fans, automated exhaust fans in garages, for instance, where the door shuts and the fan comes on for a couple of minutes to get rid of any nasty fumes. Another solution, air cleaners, all kinds up there, from MERV to HEPA filters to activated carbon air filters. Our panelists are going to talk about a VOC scavenging technology that traps volatile organic compounds, those nasty little chemicals and things like formaldehyde. And there's even technology called a photocatalytic purifier, which I'm happy I actually was able to say, which actually uses UV rays and a titanium dioxide plate to kind of zap particles as small as 0.001 microns and volatile organic compounds, or so they claim. You want to be careful of some of the UV and ozone solutions because they are limited, and there are certainly health concerns with ozone. Central vac, this has been a long standard for healthy home, and we know that they're great for pets and allergens. Here's our obligatory picture of Rover getting into trouble with a pillow and creating a potentially unhealthy atmosphere for somebody. So central vac's great for that. We're hearing from builders that a lot of their clients are asking for robotic vacuum cleaners like Roombas instead, even though those can't get into the corners as well. And you still have the problem, as you do with other vacuum cleaners, that don't expel the what they pick up into a remote canister. So you can still be creating problems in the house. A University of California Davis study studied people for 6 months, and people either had central vac or didn't have central vac, and then they switched after 3 months, and they measured activity, sleep, nasal and eye symptoms, a whole bunch of healthy or unhealthy symptoms that people had, and in all the categories, central vac was deemed the better choice. Other healthy solutions are certainly dehumidification and mold detection. We can't run all through these in great detail. Carbon monoxide and radon. I mean, these are life or death situations in some cases. And I want to make mention of Nest, and Nest, the cute little round thermostat that everybody loves. And now they have this smoke detector that you see on the right there called Protect. It doubles as a carbon monoxide detector. The Nest ran a 3-page ad in the Sunday New York Times this past week. The first 2 pages were nearly blank. Just a little logo at the bottom about Nest, and you turn the page, and they explain that that some of the most dangerous things that you can have in your house can't be seen. And it was, I think, a brilliant way to show that. I mean, they actually showed, in a way, something that can't be seen. And talked about it. And I think builders and others need to try to figure out, okay, how can we do that? How can we convince people to buy healthy home technologies that will benefit them and their family when a lot of this stuff can't be seen? Other things, Green Guard certification for low outgassing of volatile organic compounds, and certainly low VOC paints, et cetera, are on the list as well. I'd like to introduce our guests, Ariel Schechter and Kevin Murphy, who worked together to design and build this very green and healthy home, and it even has a healthy name, the Happy Meadows Courtyard House. Isn't that nice? I mean, don't you want to be there? So Ariel C. Schechter is a licensed AIA architect specializing in modernist, energy-efficient buildings with passive house designs, and her new tiny house, Micropolis House Designs. Kevin Murphy is the president of New Fire Building and a certified passive house builder. He was the builder on this house, and Kevin makes his living building ultra-efficient passive houses and net zero homes. And this year, he says he will finally be building one for his family, or in the coming year. Ariel and Kevin, take it away.
Thank you so much, Steve. We're so happy to be here. This is our Happy Meadows Courtyard House. We're nearing completion, not quite done yet. It's a passive house, and we have super thick walls. We have a 15-inch thick exterior wall with a concrete exterior finish, EPS foam inside, and then another 2x4 wall inside filled with borate treated cellulose insulation. And super tight roof construction with about an R100 and a continuous slab insulation below grade at R20.
Yeah, one of the unique things about this house, as well as other passive houses, is the tightness of the homes, which we'll get into in more detail later. But that's the thing. It makes it super energy efficient, but could be potentially disastrous for indoor air quality if it was not ventilated properly.
Happy Meadows is third-party certified to some of the highest green standards in the world, starting with PHI-US, which is Passive House Institute US, and we have achieved Passive House Plus rating on that, National Green Building Standard, and we received Emerald, which is the highest. We have a HERS rating of -1, which is the best possible.
Yeah, a HERS rating, for those that aren't aware, home energy rating system, code-built home is 100. The lower, the better. Typically, an efficient house, you're shooting for around 50. So to get to 0, or in this case below 0, is a phenomenal achievement, and we're all really excited about it. Effectively means that it's modeled to produce more energy than it will use, which the homeowners intend to buy an electric car and charge their car with clean, renewable energy from their roof, as well as providing all the energy for their home.
We're also projected to get a LEED Gold and possibly Platinum certification. And like Kevin said, we are net zero, meaning we are producing all the energy we need for the house, and we are also Energy Star. Some of the other green features we have are a ground source geothermal heat pump, a 5.4 kilowatt rooftop photovoltaic array. Those are the solar panels. And that's a remarkably small system to get to net zero on a house this big. So we owe a lot of that to the super insulation of the passive house building system. We also have almost 100% rooftop rainwater capture, but we're diverting 15% of that to a wildlife pond that we created for the animals and the other inhabitants of the site. You can see in the picture we have a scupper cantilevering off a butterfly roof and connected to a rain chain instead of a downspout, and this is feeding into a water feature. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, the homeowners called it Happy Meadows because all the creatures that inhabit it, and we've seen turkeys, deer, snakes, all kinds of frogs, butterflies. They're enjoying the house as much or more than the homeowners.
So what does all this have to do with IAQ, indoor air quality? Well, super tight passive houses require ventilation using an ERV or an HRV. ERVs are energy recovery ventilators. They take energy from exhausted building air that has been being taken out of the house and use it to precondition the incoming air. They are a type of air-to-air heat exchanger that can transfer both energy and moisture. And the moisture in this equation is critical in a humid climate. ERVs are also cleaning and filtering the air as it is being brought in.
Yeah. One of the things that I use as a selling technique for convincing folks that ERVs are a good idea is that when you turn on your dryer and 200 cubic feet per minute of air are being exhausted, your house is not a vacuum. That air has to be replaced from somewhere. In most cases, that air is coming from your desirable indoor air quality of your crawl space, where all the penetrations are coming through for your plumbing, electrical, HVAC, whatever. So you're getting the camel cricket dung and mold and all that stuff coming in for your, quote, fresh air. In our case, we know that the air is coming in from the intake to the ERV. We pre-filter it, and as we'll talk about later, we can even pre-decondition.
HRVs are heat recovery ventilators that are similar to ERVs, except they can only transfer sensible heat and not moisture. So an ERV is an HRV too because they can transfer heat, but HRVs are not ERVs because they generally don't transfer moisture. When it came time to choose our system, we knew, well, North Carolina has a mixed climate. Our summers are hot and humid. We need to move that moisture out of the building, and HRVs won't do it. We know an ERV will work, but is there something more? Well, there is, it turns out. There's a third choice, and that's called a SERVs system.
Yeah, so the SERV, when I was attending the National Passive House Conference, came across a seminar on the conditioning energy recovery ventilator, and it was something that really appealed to me because in the passive houses that I have built, one of the only complaints I ever heard about the comfort of the inhabitants was that the ERVs during the summer, if it's 98% humidity outside and 95 degrees, and they're just pumping in fresh air, it's also pumping in that humidity. The first year, there's a lot of built-up moisture in the house anyway as the concrete and lumber and everything are drying out. So people, in some cases, were less comfortable than they wanted to be because of the humidity. At the Passive House Conference, I did see a couple of conditioning ERVs, but they were from Europe and were not UL listed and were therefore not an option for me to use in my building. So I was very happy to see that the SERV that we're using is made by Build Equinox, which is out of Urbana, Illinois, which happens to be the headquarters of the Passive House Institute US.
So what is a SERV? SERVs are smart ERVs that can monitor relative humidity as well as outside temperatures. And as we've said, relative humidity is a pretty big deal here in North Carolina. What SERVs do? Well, SERVs can also sense and vary ventilation rates depending on occupancy. Lower occupancy needs means lower ventilation rates, and you can save energy costs that way. I mean, if you have 6 people in your family and 4 of them go away on vacation, the SERV can sense there's only 2 people there and lower the ventilation rate accordingly. So why pay extra if there's fewer people or no one at home? Other good things that SERVs do, they continually monitor the air quality for CO2 and VOCs. Even if you build without VOCs, occupants are always bringing in pollutants via dry cleaning, furniture products, dirt, shoes, mold. That's one of the major benefits of a SERV, and also they ventilate continually, and outside air can be much cleaner than indoor air. Here's our SERV installed. It looks a little like a Martian. We think it's cute.
Thank you, Ariel and Kevin. Great job on the house.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the owners must really love it. How are they doing? Are they living in it yet?
No, they're going to be moving in 2 weeks, and they're there every day. They happen to be 81 and 77 years old, and this is the first home they've ever built. They're obviously building it to age in place, and they're very very excited about getting in there, and they were drivers in many of the things that we used in the house, including one thing we didn't talk about was the VOC scavenging sheetrock. But yeah, I mean, this was something I'd never even heard of, and it was time to hang the sheetrock, and the client sent me an email, hey, how about we use this? And so we managed to source it and get it installed. And, this is a product that has been third-party verified to pull volatile organic compounds out of the air and convert them to an inert compound in the sheetrock for up to 70 years. So it's a pretty cool thing. So we got the ERV filtering air, and we've got no VOCs that we put in the building. And then in addition, we have these VOC scavenging sheetrock. So we're pretty confident that the indoor air quality is going to be phenomenal in this house.
That's a really neat product, Kevin. Now, you were able to install the VOC scavenging sheetrock on the walls, right? And you weren't able to do it on the ceiling, if I'm correct?
CertainTeed, for whatever reason, and they're excited about us using it, because it's kind of a new product. And so they actually had several reps from CertainTeed come to the house. And, they said that when they were doing the testing, for some reason they only had it on the walls, so they could only certify that it would work on the walls, but they're in the process of testing it on the ceiling too. And as you see in the picture, they do color it blue just so folks can know that they are getting what they're paying for, because there is a premium. It was about $10 more a board, which is significant. Indoor air quality is an easy sell to a lot of people. As you noted, people with, there's an increasing number of people with allergies and asthma and all that, and if you can tell them, they're going to feel healthier, I mean, that's worth investing in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, on that subject, and this is one for our entire panel, and John, please chime in as well. How should builders, can you recommend how builders really market healthy home systems, like some of the things we've discussed already?
I don't know if I have any specific methods on how to market, but I would think or feel that indoor air quality, especially when from my standpoint, when it comes to operating one of the largest and potentially most dangerous appliances in the home, like a fireplace, it would be of great importance to the consumer. And I think builders would have no problem marketing it from a health and safety standpoint, as well as the added benefits of home energy conservation, which of course saves the homeowner money as well.
Mm-hmm. And what's required for that? Do you think that home buyers and homeowners really know enough about this, or do they need to be educated?
I feel like it's a pretty easy sell, particularly folks that have children. They want the healthiest environment that they can provide for their family. And in the case of our current clients, they're in excellent health and they want to keep it that way, And so I think, it's obviously important for everyone. Nobody's lungs, appreciate contaminants that could be avoided. But in our cases, with Ariel and me, we do tend to attract clients that recognize that it's worth spending a little more money for a more efficient building, for a more healthy building. And what's nice is that Passive House, the reason it's called Passive House Plus now is it is, in order to get certified to Passive House, you have to meet the requirements of EPA Indoor Air Plus and DOE Challenge Home. So there are now indoor air quality components, whereas before it was simply a performance-based standard on energy efficiency.
Now that's interesting, and I'm kind of going to jump ahead and put you on the spot here, Kevin. But I'm also hearing that with HRVs and ERVs and how some are good in some climates and not so good in other climates, and may not be suitable at all in some climates, both HRVs and ERVs. And I know the Passive House Standard doesn't necessitate specifically HRVs and ERVs, correct? But its requirements almost necessitate that you put it in.
Yeah,
the ventilation standards, right?
I understand that they do, in fact, and they actually dictate the efficiency that the ERV must or HRV must meet, which unfortunately I don't have committed to memory, but that there aren't many domestic ERVs that meet the efficiency standard required by the Passive House Standard.
Do you think it might need to be toned down a little bit?
I don't think so. I mean, there are people that are doing it, and it's a matter of the market. I think over time there'll be more. I've used the Ultimate Air Recuperator in the past, and now have found the Serve, which both those are domestic-made ERVs, and unfortunately, I haven't used a domestic window in years, because the efficiency of the European windows is that much better, and they're cost-effective. But I see that Marvin and Pella are now trying to get in the game with triple pane, very efficient windows. So I think that it can come. I don't know that our country, frankly, has the political will to make it a necessity like some other countries.
Well, let's talk also about what's the builder case for things like automated ventilation and chimney fans. I mean, how can builders, what's the business case for them? Because a lot of these systems are still, quite costly, and you can understand why some builders may not want to put them in, but are there other benefits for their business that you can see with some of these systems?
All right. What I would say is that in my case, and granted I am a small niche builder. I don't build a gigantic number of houses. I don't build houses that aren't super tight. If someone wants a leaky code-built house, they need to go to somebody else. And as a result, in order to ensure that I provide a positive indoor air environment for my clients, I have to have these things such as ERVs. And actually, I'd never heard of John's product, and I'm very intrigued to learn more about it. So I'm glad that Enervex was sponsoring it, and I can check it out because I am a wood burner, even though I know that can lead to contaminating your indoor air quality. I enjoy having a fire on cold nights. And
sure, as am I, Kevin. And now, as far as making a case for adding a chimney fan system, from our standpoint and the way you want to sell it or package it is that we work in a very kind of custom and admittingly higher end clientele, but with these chimney fan systems on a fireplace, it allows the builder to offer their clients these custom fireplace designs and unique venting layouts, such as sidewall venting, while also maintaining healthy ventilation, whether it's venting a gas fireplace or wood burning fireplace. All of our fans are variable speed, so you're only pulling out as much as you need and no more. So this really adds to the energy conservation as well.
All right. Hey, folks, in the webinar and attendees out there, we're opening it up for questions, so you can type a question in the box at the bottom of your control panel and or console there, and we will try to get it answered. If we don't have time to get it answered or can't, we will try to get back to you with an answer. I just want to talk a little bit about marketing and food too. And we're big believers here at Tech Home Builder in that, hey, moms and young families must love healthy home technology, right? I mean, mom wants a healthy environment for her children. That doesn't mean dad doesn't, but you know dads. I mean, we're more into things like home theater systems and so forth. And there could even be trade-offs there. If one party gets a healthy home, the other can get maybe a nice entertainment system, and everyone's happy. So I really think there should be a huge emphasis on moms with this. And also, let's think about adjacency in marketing. When we talk about things like the Nest Protect and carbon monoxide detectors, I mean, there's safety issues there. And you can go from safety systems like smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors into healthy home. And certainly green and building energy efficiency homes like the one that Kevin and Ariel built is a natural extension of that. So it's really, green is becoming more like green and healthy living these days. And we just have some thoughts of, all kinds of systems in a home can actually equal healthy home, right? Water elements, whether they're luxurious or water savings or leak detectors, I mean, they may be preventing mold and humidity buildup as well. They equal healthy. And so, you've got plumbing fixtures, building materials with the drywall that Kevin had talked about, and, radiant heat with thermal mass, so you're not using carpeting. I mean, that's a healthy home system. Lighting, LEDs, you can use to layer light in beautiful, calming ways, and there are even LED lamps that cast or don't cast a blue light that we get from electronics that has been found to disrupt our circadian rhythms and our sleeping cycles. Foodie tech in kitchen appliances, to eat healthy, and certainly outdoor living and getting in touch with nature. And here are a few that I think we don't think about at all, but can really be related to a healthy home. And one of them's music and audio video and entertainment for your family, and maybe some outdoor speakers or for outdoor living. I mean, music is so powerful and can have such a calming effect that it can be paired with healthy home systems, and automation and smart homes that help reduce energy and can help even regulate HVAC and ventilation and humidity systems. And we're seeing more green chef's walls with herbs and perhaps even vegetables being grown in kitchens or on patios organically. All this stuff equals healthy homes. Now, Kevin, this one may be for you. And can users reduce ventilation rates in hot, humid climates with ERVs? Can they actually, turn down the amount of ventilation, and can that help control, say, bringing in unwanted humidity during the summer?
Yeah, absolutely. The Ultimate Air, which we used previously, has a variable. You do have to go in physically and turn the knob if you want to turn down the amount of ventilation. The Serve can do it based on reading the outdoor humidity level compared to the indoor, and the temperature and the CO2s and all that. So that one is more automated. I will say I do agree about the music. That was a nice little part to throw in there in terms of a healthy indoor environment. Having some music playing does make me feel better anyway.
Your automated chimney damper, your ERV or your Serve, and music, right? What more could you need?
A glass of wine.
One last question here. Do you think standards like LEED and the NAHB National Green Building Standards and certifications, are they really relevant for this, or can they do more to help promote healthy homes and great IAQ in a home?
Yeah, I can't speak to the LEED standard, but in terms of the NAHB, they do have one of the 7 sections is about indoor air quality, and it is something that they address, and you need to be conscious of, and certainly the passive house standard. So I think that at least in our little world, which is a pretty small bubble here, there are plenty of good builders in the area that are very much aware of the need for indoor air quality, and it's being addressed now. I think there are a large majority of folks out there, clients and builders, are most concerned with what's the cheapest I can build per square foot, not looking at the long picture, but just the immediate short-term dollar amount.
This is where you have to market toward return investment by saving on your utility bills, and how just a little bit more on your insulation up front can save you so much money over the long run, and go to low or zero energy bills are possible. And also that helps with your resale value, which is a big concern of homeowners. Is if you can prove that your bills are low, you have inherent value right there. And University of Berkeley study said that houses that have green features are 9% over the going rate of other houses. They have built-in value.
That's an excellent point. Thank you. Well, and that's a great point to close on. I'm sorry we're out of time, but please feel free to send any questions that you have to me. I did not put my email on this PowerPoint, unfortunately, but it is scastle, S-C-A-S-T-L-E, at ae-ventures.com, and we'll try to answer your questions. Thanks, everyone, for attending our first webcast, and I hope you found it very interesting and insightful, and thank you to our panel, and especially to Enervex for making it possible.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We enjoyed it.
Have a good day.